What's up, everybody? We're back with episode 3 of the 740 Show podcast with Boomer Brown. I'm here with my guest, One Academy Jackson owner and instructor, Joe Taylor.
How you guys doing? Thank you, Boomer.
You're welcome, Joe. How are you doing today?
Doing good, bud. How about
Great.
yourself?
Doing great. Glad to be here with you with the interview. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for sitting down with me and doing this. I really appreciate it. I would like to get in to a little bit of your background and your upbringing, a little bit of childhood. Let the people know a little bit about your background.
So a little bit about me. I grew up in a military family, so we were always on the road.
Yeah.
Moving from A to B, growing up
Mhm.
as a kid. Eventually, we found a home in Meigs County whenever I was just a little tiny thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then we moved to Albany and stuff, and then my father went to law enforcement. And then pretty much we were in Athens County for the whole childhood up to
Nice.
adulthood. Again, moved back to Meigs a little bit, and
Yeah.
then moved down this way. Before opening up One Academy Jackson.
Nice.
But yeah, I came from a military family,
Okay.
a law enforcement family.
So you always had some good stability with the military aspect and law enforcement in
Oh
your
yeah.
home.
Now I never served in the military, and I was never law enforcement. But being
Your
around,
father.
but being around that type of environment, my
Kind of a
childhood-
good example for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was brought up
Yeah.
the right way. Stern and strict, but
Yeah.
correct too.
How was Athens growing up?
I never really cared that much for living in Athens. I liked it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I had several friends there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can understand that.
And like I moved down this way into the country a little
And
bit.
it's more your speed.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Quiet, peaceful.
Yeah. It seems
know.
like everything slowed down
Yeah.
down this way.
Good. I'm glad you enjoy it. And that's, sometimes we grow up in places we don't care for too much,
Right.
We get an opportunity to get out of that and find a place that suits us.
No, I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm
Yeah.
thankful for Athens County. I had a great
Absolutely.
career there. Working as a 911 operator. Other jobs in the county and the city and stuff like that. So I'm grateful for the upbringing in the county. And I just, sometimes you just outgrow certain things.
That's
You know what I
true, yeah.
mean? And I decided to move away, and it all worked out. So
Absolutely. How long were you a dispatcher for?
about 10 years or so.
Nice. I bet you had quite a few harrowing experiences with that. There's probably a lot of
Yeah,
crazy times and
Yeah, there's you got funny stories with
Yeah.
that line of work, and you have the really bad,
Some
sad
very
stories. You know what
dark
I mean?
and terrible stuff.
Right, because no one's having a good day, and they're
No.
not going to be calling that number just because they're having a good day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But my time as a 911 operator, though, I'm thankful for the experiences, though,
Absolutely.
because number one, the communication skills that it gave me.
Yes. Yeah.
With that and being in the car, being
Yeah.
in car sales and stuff
Yeah.
in my early 20s. But the people skills, the communication skills
Yeah.
came in.
Helped you build a connection with people
Correct.
you may not know, even though it's on the phone. So
Exactly.
you can help them feel more comfortable while they're talking to you.
Right, and it also helps, in what we currently do now,
Yes.
and we'll get into that later on
Absolutely.
in the convo. But
Yeah.
referring to the jiu-jitsu side of things,
Yes.
it's all about people skills. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean?
You got to have some people skills when you deal with people.
Right, or just in general. So
Yeah.
to speak.
Absolutely. Let's get into some of your struggles in early life and some successes you've had as well.
Struggles. Well, define struggles.
Well, did you go through anything kind of traumatic, life-altering, or something that put you on a different path?
Oh yeah, 100%. But I think that goes with all of us. Though.
Yeah,
You
we
know
all
what I
have
mean?
we all have a background, and things happen.
Well, like back my early teenage years, you know what I mean? I lost my mom
Yeah.
from heart complications at the age of 7, like whenever I was 17.
That's a heavy blow at that age.
Well, it kind of sucked because I think every family has that one person,
Like the glue.
the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah.
And she was that glue. And the crappiest part of it is whenever that glue is removed, you see the rest of the branches
Things
just
start to
kind
fall
of
apart.
fall apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And everyone goes their separate ways. But
Yeah.
as a young guy, you're seeing this. You don't really understand it
No.
or why it's happening.
No.
You know what I mean? But as you get older, it's like, oh, okay, I get it.
I see.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my nephew, of course, you know my brother-in-law Jeremy.
Yeah.
My nephew Skyler, he passed away from
Yeah.
brain cancer
Man.
whenever he was 13. And plus all the other things that's happened, throughout life,
Yeah.
losing other loved ones that you care about and stuff, and
Absolutely.
maybe losing the job here or there or whatever the case was.
Yeah.
Life can be crazy and difficult sometimes.
Absolutely, it curves the ball at us sometimes.
Yeah,
really,
but the way you deal with it though, it molds you.
You
know
can't
what I mean?
you can't dwell on it. You have to move forward as in a positive manner as possible.
But to answer your question though, like the two things that really would hit home plate for me as far as like obstacles in my road and stuff like that, like struggles I've had to deal with, would probably be those two topics
Gotcha,
right
because
there.
those are two things that's hard on a person.
Right.
It really is. And it's a testament to your resolve and perseverance as well that you kept going forward.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you can't give up. You can't stop.
Right, you have
just
to.
got to go forward and make the best out of it.
It's like you tell anybody, that trains martial arts or just in any typical conversation, like when life gets hard, you just sit there and lay down.
Right.
You got to get up.
You got to get up.
You got to face tomorrow, regardless if you want to or not.
Absolutely. Let's get into your entry into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and what led to that, and let's touch on that a little bit.
So my intro. So let's rewind a little bit before we get into jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
So working at 911, I found music.
Oh yeah.
I started playing guitar. Found a few buddies of mine that was musicians, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to learn how to play that. So I played in the band for, I don't know, almost 9 years, I think it was, as a rhythm guitarist and stuff. But eventually things happened, and I think it was more like me just getting bored with the situation, or just life in general was taking place. My life was kind of crazy at that moment in time, and I had to step away from the band.
Understandably.
And with that comes along with a lot of downtime. I needed something to occupy my time. I don't want to sit around, and just not do anything.
Yes, because then you get stale, you get complacent. So you get used to sitting around, and the next thing you know, you're...
It's a habit at that point. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, you're just in this circle of whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but it becomes a detriment to you in your life at a point, because it bogs you down, and you're not getting out there and moving forward. You're getting stale and stagnant in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And fast forward to, so once I left the band and stuff, I'm sitting here at 911. I'm like, man, what can I do to occupy my time? I need to figure out something. And I didn't know what I was going to do. At the time, I'm like 30 years old or whatever it was, and I needed to go get gas. So I went to Go Mart in Athens, which is like right down the road from 911 dispatch. And I got off work, went and got gas, and it was a white Jeep Wrangler that pulled up, and it was decked out all the way around this thing with, Gracie Jiu Jitsu this, Gracie Jiu Jitsu that, Athens, Ohio, Gracie Jiu Jitsu, here's my phone number. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, Gracie Jiu Jitsu in Athens. I went about my day. I didn't think nothing of it. And the very next day, I'm driving around the county, and I see that same Jeep. I'm literally just cruising, back roading, trying to, just hitting gravel roads that you know what I mean, just trying to get my head right, getting away from reality. I have the radio turned off, my cell phone's turned off, trying to figure out what the next step in my life is going to be, because right now I'm at a standstill, and I need to drive around and figure out what's gonna let the next chess move. And I passed that Jeep on the random gravel road, and I was like, there's no way that he should be even out here, not unless he lives out here.
It's more of a sign at that point.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's the way I took it. And then so it was like an hour later, I see the same Jeep again. I saw the same Jeep at like 5 different locations the same day. And I was like, dude, I'm calling the number on the Jeep.
Yeah.
So I did. And I called the number, and it was Carlos Mendez, my instructor in jiu-jitsu.
Shout out to Carlos Mendez, One Academy headquarters, Athens, Ohio.
And, I hit Carlos up, and he's like, yeah, first class is free. Come try it out. And in my mind, I'm trying to think of every excuse to get off this phone. Like, I'm like, dude, you're in your 30s. What are you doing? Yada, yada. You haven't been active in forever. You're way out of shape.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this conversation I had with my instructor, Carlos. I said, well, what if I sign up and I suck at it and I need to quit? What do I need to do? I was already game planning for that scenario.
Trying to get an exit.
I was like, okay, I know I'm probably going to quit. How do I quit when when I need to quit? You know what I mean? He goes, I'll never forget it, because it was beautiful. It checkmated me instantly.
Yeah.
And it changed the whole way I thought on that phone call. And Carlos, you probably don't know this, but you did. So thank you. He said, just because you suck at something doesn't grant you the permission to quit it.
Absolutely.
I was like, damn, he got me.
He did, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I scheduled the trial class, and I went into my trial class, introduced myself, had my gi and stuff, had my belt on. Of course, I'm the newbie in the room.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. You know what I mean? We had a hell of a workout. I vomited several times.
That's how you know it was good.
Yeah, because I was out of shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I knew that going in, and I vomited. I was sitting there puking in the commode, and I was like, dude, you got two choices right now. Get back out there,
Yep.
you know, of course, wash
Clean
up,
yourself up,
clean yourself
yeah.
up, and get back out there and finish the day, or go home with your tail tucked between your legs and you regret that decision the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
And I decided at that time, I was like, well, I'm just going to continue to puke and show up until the puking
Yeah.
stops. And it was
Yep.
14 days of that.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you got a good crash course coming in, which is good. You know, you needed that, really.
Yeah, I needed a gut check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I needed it to be told, like, this isn't going to be easy and this is what you need to, you know.
Yeah, it sounds like what happens to a lot of people. You get into something and you weren't very good at it at first. So you're like, man, you're beating yourself up, so to speak.
Right.
You're working against yourself.
And you're already working towards that exit.
Yes.
You know, for no reason.
It's like you got 1 foot in, but 1 foot still out. You know?
Right. So a lot of times I think we all battle this or thinking.
It's like we don't have the confidence in ourselves at times, or we don't give ourselves enough credit.
Right. And we should, as human beings.
We owe it to ourselves.
Right. At least once.
Yeah.
Get out there and see what's up.
Yeah.
But it was really cool because, like, after the vomiting was done and stuff, but anyhow, like, my very first class was a triangle choke, which we have a curriculum. If you guys don't know that, we do have a curriculum for our classes, you know, and, you know, class number 1 is triangle choke, for example. But anyhow, class number 7 is a triangle choke on the curriculum, right? And that was my very first class. And I loved it because, number 1, I have long legs.
Yep.
I see Anderson Silva wrecking people in the octagon
with
the triangle choke. I don't understand it, but I see him doing it. I think it looks really cool.
It does. It's a very good technique.
So my very first lesson was a triangle choke.
That's
and
wonderful.
I got hooked immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was, and the rest is history, I guess.
That's so cool. Yeah. Let's get into, you know, you pretty much jumped in the deep end and went out and started your own academy.
Yeah.
So you started from humble beginnings.
So when I first started out, that was never my intentions or game plans ever. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, like, my very first time I ever rolled was a humbling experience. If you want to talk about being humble.
Oh, yeah.
You know? There was a blue belt by the name of Casey at the time that was a student under Carlos as well. And Casey is, like, a lot smaller than me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 230 plus, 6'3".
Yeah.
And at the time I was a lot heavier, so I was probably 250, 260 back then. And I'll never forget it because Carlos was like, Joe, I want you to go spar him.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I was like,
I'm bigger than him.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you thought you was going to bulldog him and muscle him around.
Because I had no idea what jiu-jitsu was. You know, I'm still brand new.
Yeah.
I might have learned a trap and roll. I might have learned maybe an arm bar.
Yeah.
I've never sparred yet.
Right. So you was.
Yeah, but in my mind, it's like I'm twice this dude's size. I'm going to just throw him around like a rag doll. That was not the case. Casey humbled me for 5 straight minutes with one chokehold, and he just slapped an Ezekiel choke on, you know, left and right like clockwork.
And at that time, you were still new, didn't know how to defend it.
Yeah.
And you didn't understand. Like you said, you were brand new. Like most people will be when they start jiu-jitsu. They're going to be uncomfortable. They're going to be, you know, under pressure, and you're not going to be able to think clearly. So I can understand where you come from because, you know, we've all started at some point.
So with him humbling me, I walked away. It was kind of funny because I drove home, and you know, in a Dodge Ram 1500. I remember driving down Route 33 in Athens, and all the windows of the truck was rolled down. The radio was turned off, and I was just like this, driving down the road, just contemplating, like, wow, what was that?
Yeah.
And it's like, I have to learn this art. I got to take it serious. I got to full send it, because if that was someone my own size, like, what if that was a street fight?
Exactly.
I would have got murked.
Yeah.
You know, or hurt really bad.
Yeah.
You know, but thankfully enough, my humble beginnings of jiu-jitsu started safely in a dojo. You know what I mean? It was someone that was going to look out for my safety.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually, you know,
it killed the ego, so to speak.
Oh, 100%. Immediately, man.
And that's what a lot of people struggle with coming into something new sometimes. You know, And it's not an ego as in the sense they're egotistical. It's everybody has a perception of themselves at times in their head, and when they get into something like this, they realize, oh,
Yeah.
this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah, because it is, man. The ground game, it was, I don't know, it was very humbling,
Yeah.
man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm also thankful for that experience because it made me pursue jiu-jitsu full throttle.
Yeah, it got you hooked. Really.
I have to know this art. I have
Yeah.
to know it. I can't believe that just took place. I can't believe it happened. I need to know how he did all that stuff to me.
Absolutely.
You know, and there's only one way you're going to know it, and that's to full send it and get it to the gym and take it serious.
Yes.
You know, so I started training. At first, I started because my work schedule was weird, so I could only do 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then it eventually went to 3 days a week. And then my shift went to night shift,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was able to do 5-6 days a week. You know, two to three classes a day.
Nice.
And I pretty much lived in this gym. I bought, you know, the books. You know, I studied this, I studied that, took notes, went to seminars, I competed in tournaments and stuff. Still with no intent or idea that I was going to be a gym owner.
Right.
Right. Until one day, like me and Carlos was en route to a tournament, and just me and him in his Jeep. We're going down the road. We're talking about life and stuff. And I was like, dude, I think I'm getting burnt out in 911.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. I'm just not. I could feel it's draining the positive energy out of me.
And you needed something different.
Yeah, and it wasn't nothing against like the coworkers or the bosses or anything like that. It was just I don't know. I don't know if it was all the phone calls coming in or what. It just at that time it served its purpose in my life.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to move on to the next chapter.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just wasn't happy, and it was time for me to move on. And on a whim, I just made a comment. I was like, dude, I would literally move and sell my house to be a One Academy affiliate.
Yeah.
Jokingly.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't even serious about it. I was just, you know, making conversation going down the highway on the way to do a BJJ tournament. And it was like, I don't even know, man. 5-6 months later, we're at an open mat in Athens, and I'm exhausted. I just rolled for like 90 straight minutes.
Yeah.
I lay on the, Carlos is sitting with his back right here. And I come up and I plop it like this.
Yeah.
I'm dead, dude. I'm smoked. I'm sweating. I look up. I'm like, hey, what's up, dude? He goes, and he goes, hey, remember that idea we had going down the highway, that tournament of you possibly being a gym owner? I said, yeah. But in my mind, I was like, I was just joking, but yeah, I remember that. He goes, how would you feel about that? I was like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
100%. He goes, start getting your things in order. He goes, and start shopping for mats and locations and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, cause now it's like, now I see an opportunity and I have a choice.
Yes.
I can run away with my tail tucked between my legs.
Or you can man up and take it head on.
Or I can man up and see if I can make something of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I didn't want to be a dispatcher for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know
it's mentally taxing on a person.
really is, dude.
And people don't realize it.
Yeah, you know.
You're hearing a lot of people's, you know, mishaps and traumas, and it's like, my God.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you feel for them. You know, you're like.
And eventually it just takes a toll on you.
It does.
Man.
It wears you down.
You
it's
know?
like a grind mentally.
So I had the idea. Of course, I didn't look around at locations and see what other gyms were around.
Yeah.
At the time, I was living off of State Route 7 near Tupper's Plains, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
And so Parkersburg is like really close to that.
Yeah, not far.
So in my mind, I'm like, I'm totally taking over Parkersburg.
Yeah.
I'm going to open up a gym in Parkersburg. And Carlos was like, why don't we just open up a gym in Jackson? And it gained a lot of respect out of, you know, for Carlos for saying this.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, why not Parkersburg? And he goes, there's already a BJJ gym there or two. He goes, let's not try to open up something in someone's backyard.
I can see where
he
has a very good point there. You know,
because all these gyms were all family-owned businesses.
Yeah,
it's not like a big corporation like Walmart.
Right.
You know, it's people that's had careers that did, you know, eventually walked away from it and opened up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it gained a lot of respect. I was like, that's really cool, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's not even go that route because there's already a gym there.
Right. He had he had good reason.
Right.
And, you know, and it's like he was looking out for you at the same time.
So we started looking into Jackson. There was no gym. There used to be a gym here a long time ago, but it shut down. So we opened up in Jackson. So here's where it gets funny. Whenever I opened up the first day, or the idea of opening up this gym, it was during the heat of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, businesses are shutting down.
Oh, yeah.
everyone's freaking out, everyone's bored,
Yeah.
everyone's sitting at the house, nothing to do. And I was like, hell with it, dude. I'm gonna open up and see what happens. You know, if I fail, I fail, but if I succeed, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be one hell of a story to tell.
Oh, absolutely.
And I started making small talk. Of course, like you don't want to be putting stuff on all over. You know, during that time,
Yes.
you don't want to be advertising all this
Right,
stuff.
because next thing you know, knock,
Yeah.
you
So-
guys can't be here.
So it was just kind of crazy, you know. So word to mouth, people started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one post that was made that Jiu Jitsu was going to be coming to Jackson, and the next thing you know, people started inboxing and private conversations.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I got 20, 30 students on my first day.
That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, this is going to be a good part-time gig.
Yeah.
I can still work at dispatch and
Yep.
teach this part-time because I was still working dispatch. I was driving from Tupper's Plains to here to teach.
My land.
And 3 days a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I would work at 8 to 16-hour shift or whatever it was, and then come
in,
teach. Yeah,
get smoky rounds in. And,
yeah, man. Get beat up.
Yeah.
And go back home. But it started off like that, and then eventually, I was like, you know what, man? Like, I've had enough 911. I'm done. I quit. I told my boss, I was like, no offense, I played my part here, and it's time for me to move on.
Absolutely.
He wished me the best,
Mm-hmm.
he understood that I had different things I was wanting to pursue. Right. I didn't give a notice, which that was my, I should have. That's the only thing I do regret. I should have given a 2-week notice, but I was just ready. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm out. I've had enough of it. I'm walking away, and I started teaching full time in a little 400 square foot garage, and it was beautiful, man.
Yeah.
I was teaching, I don't even know, 5, 6 classes back to back, but I was limited. I could only have 10, 15 students in each class because of the pandemic that was happening.
Yeah.
And eventually the pandemic broke free. I was able to upgrade to the AAA building because AAA actually went out of business.
That's right.
6 months after I opened up in the gym, in the garage, AAA behind me went out. So I took that opportunity to upgrade. I was like, okay, the gym's starting to grow. The pandemic's starting to calm down. People are starting to loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
Upgraded to AAA building, which was really cool because it was literally just picking stuff up, walking out the back door, and right into another building.
That's not a bad deal.
I didn't have to get a U-Haul or nothing.
That's a good move there.
But we did the AAA building for a while, and then we upgraded to this, man, 3,000 square foot building.
Yeah.
Just massive, and we did it in 5 years. So I'm beyond grateful for it.
You've upgraded each year essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's it seems like you had the right idea in something like this because when you decided to do it full time, you realized you had to kind of jump in and
you have to
go, because if you try to do it part time, it's not going to pan out in as quick of time or the way you want it to if you were putting your full.
Well, here's the way I was telling my brother-in-law, Jeremy. I had to talk with him, and I was like, dude, I could do this part-time forever.
Yeah.
Or I could full send it and do this full-time, because when you full send it and for a fact that this is your only source of income for your family, you have to make it work. There's no other option. There's no option for failure.
Absolutely.
You everything has to be locked and tight, and you have to full send it. You have to.
Yeah. Like I said, you put your life and blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Right.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
So that's
essentially what I did. Like whenever I left 911, of course I had like a retirement plan and stuff, and I was like, I could either transfer it, I could save it, or I could just spend it and invest in the business opportunity that I have in front of me. And that's what I did. Like so, I cashed out my retirement, and at the time I just paid off all the debt that I had.
Right.
And then paid cash for everything else for the gym, and then that was my retirement. So we're sitting on 911 retirement. Right.
Yeah. But hey, that's the move you had to make to get where you wanted to make this work.
Yeah, you have to, man. You got to take them chances.
Do. Sometimes the risk is worth the reward.
Yep.
And like that's a gamble that definitely paid off, and it's been a pretty good ride. It seems like so far for you. It's been a good experience, and I know you really enjoy what you do.
Oh yeah, the business has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but what business don't?
Right, exactly. Everybody's going to have ebbs and flows.
You just got to be able to withstand, the storm, so to speak. But this gym's done amazing things. Like if you look over at the wall, like it's multiple medals, and I'm sure you've already got pictures of it on your thing. But multiple medals. We won first place, at a tournament for cancer benefit.
Tap cancer out.
Tap cancer out. Yeah, we won first place for the most money earned and donated for
That's
the organization.
Amazing. That's great.
Yeah, it was like close to $8,000 or $9,000 or something like that.
And some of those tap cancers have pretty good turnout.
Oh yeah.
It's a very good thing they're doing.
And plus, like with my nephew Skyler, losing him to brain cancer and stuff, that tournament kind of
it hits the home
a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand because I've lost some family members from cancer, and I feel the same way. That's what got me to sign up for that one before I'd reached out to you before I started training here.
Right.
Remember, I was like, hey, I got this tap cancer out. I need to train. I haven't been on the mats in 7 years.
Yeah.
You're like, come on in. And I've been here ever since, and I love every minute of it.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm fortunate that you're here and that you do what you do because everybody benefits from it.
Right. And that's really the whole goal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And, the camaraderie of this gym as well and the brotherhood and the friendship you can form here, you're hard-pressed to find somebody you won't get along with here.
Right.
Yeah, no, you're not going to get along with everybody. You're not going to be buddy with everybody, but you're still going to have respect for them. You're still going to have some camaraderie. Like, hey, how's it going, man? Is everything going okay? And the people give you the same respect.
And that's one thing I take pride in with the gym. Like we have anywhere between 130 to 140 students that train.
Yeah.
And not one bad apple in the studio.
One, you work very hard to make sure you bring good people in.
Well, yeah, because there's a certain type of community that you want.
Cut away the rot, so to speak.
Yeah, the cancer.
You've had some.
You want to cut it out.
I know you've had some people come in and act a fool.
Oh, yeah, I got some funny stories I'll tell you off camera, but there's this one time this one guy came in. And it's fun. I'll tell you off camera, but it's funny. But but this gym, like we've done so much positive things for the community, and if it wasn't for Jackson and the surrounding areas too, Wellston, MacArthur, and Oak Hill, and Chillicothe, and Waverly, Beaver, all these places, I got people from all these locations that come here. I got a family of 5 that literally travels all the way from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Every day to come train.
They're down across the river from me, ain't they?
Yep, Steve and his wife, Kayla. Yeah. And but how cool is that people are willing to drive that far?
It really is,
because they have a gym literally in their backyard, so to speak, but they like it here.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Because our gym has a different type of environment.
Yeah, it really is, and it's a good environment.
Because it's like a lot of times, guys, like people have this. I don't know. Have you ever been to a brand new place and you feel like everyone's looking at you, or like, the newbie, let's take advantage of the new person, let's hip toss them, let's crush their soul. We don't allow that here. No. I won't allow it.
You want people to grow and learn,
man,
safely as well.
Because I was just telling a student to sign up this morning after judo.
I
was telling him, it's like, even though you're brand new, there's things that I'm going to learn from you and vice versa.
Absolutely.
There's 2 sides of a sword. Yep. And I'm sharpening this side, you're sharpening this side. Eventually we meet at the top, and now our jiu-jitsu is molding into one thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're helping each other grow. Iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
So don't think of it just because you're brand new that I'm just going to have the mentality of I'm going to smash you this whole entire 5-minute roll. No, I'm going to go real easy with you.
Let them work.
Let you work. And if you make a mistake, I'm going to correct you. Say, hey, don't do that, because if you do this, I can do this to you.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But it's all about also like your goals in jiu-jitsu too. Like, what do you want to get out of it? Or did you sign up for self-defense? Yeah. Did you sign up for tournaments? Did you sign up just to get it in shape? Did you sign up to give yourself a mental break of reality? Yeah. Because jiu-jitsu helps with a lot of things.
Really
what I mean? Depression, anxiety, weight loss, social skills.
Absolutely.
Anything you could think of, jiu-jitsu could help out with. Like I love teaching the kids classes, seeing the kids come in that might be getting picked on at school. They come in with their head down, they're sad. not know anybody here. They're
Mm-hmm.
nervous and scared. And then as soon as they hit the floor, all those kids know what I expect.
Yes.
You know, and they're, hey, come here. My name's this. My name's
Yeah.
that. Nice to meet you. Let me do this. Let me do this.
It's like you can see the confidence building in them,
Yeah,
and they feel
man.
more comfortable, and you can see them light up.
Right. They
Like,
come out.
hey.
They come out of that comfort
Yeah.
zone. You know, and then 6 months, 8 months later, that kid that came in with his head down is walking with his head up and
Yeah.
his chest out.
He's
Full of
confident.
confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
And that-
plus, you got good people on the floor, good friends too.
Absolutely. And that the confidence in children will help them go a long way. You know,
You
a lot
need
of
it.
kids need that. And I know growing up, when I did, and you may have experienced at times that, you know, when you're growing up, sometimes you don't have the people instilling the confidence that you need in you when you don't see it in yourself.
Right, the encouragement.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you know, this is what this helps do. It helps instill that confidence in them to say, hey, you know, yeah, you go through stuff, but it's okay. You know, you're going to face it head on and overcome.
Right, like a lot of coaches. I don't want to say a lot of coaches. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But you get some people like they'll sign someone up, and that person is just a number to them.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
New member, number 85 signed up today or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, I want to know who you are.
Yeah.
What's your story? Why do you want to train?
Yeah.
What's your goals with your training? What's going on with your life? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You need to talk, etc. Like I want my people to know that we're here for each other. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
For real, like I know for a fact that this gym alone, the Jackson location, I know for a fact it prevented 2 suicides. So that's one thing that's nice about Gracie Jiu Jitsu, knowing the fact that this gym has prevented 2 suicides. It just goes to show me the effects that the gym could take place
Absolutely.
or take part in someone's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're battling depression and you come in and rolling with us in your trainings, whatever it is that's getting you down,
You have an outlet.
you have an outlet for it, and you're not even thinking about maybe it's a medical bill.
Yeah.
That's getting you down.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about that medical bill when you're trying to defend an armbar.
You're not thinking about the rents due, light bills are due. You're not thinking about kids got to go to school.
Yeah, and a lot of times
You're kind of able to decompress.
Right, man. And whenever people come to train and they leave, 9 times out of 10, they're in a lot better mood.
Yeah. They're upbeat and they're like, yeah, I feel good. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what it's about.
Really, it's like going to the gym sometimes, getting a good weightlifting workout, and you feel fairly well. But this is a better in a lot of ways because you get more of a physical workout in your body. Plus, you mentally you get a workout.
But it's like if you struggle with anything, like social anxiety.
Yes.
When you come in, you're in a room full of people trying to help you learn, and vice versa.
Yeah.
And it forces you to communicate.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And like the depression, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, the mats can help you out in so many different ways. And a lot of people don't even realize that until they start the journey.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh wow, I realized the whole shift in my circle of people I hung out with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've noticed a whole shift of my attitude in certain situations or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
I know for me personally, you know, it's like there's times when I've had to step away from training for a little bit, whether it's health issues. And I know during those times, I feel like mentally it was a little more taxing.
Challenging for you probably.
When I was in the gym at least a couple times a day and I was able to work.
You didn't have an outlet.
Exactly. I just had to carry that.
Right.
And carry it and find another way to offload it in a sense. It's not as successful.
Right.
You know. Let's get into your perspective on the jiu-jitsu scene when you started and your opinions on where it's at now.
Like back when I started, like from like the very, very beginning of the journey.
You can do it from then or when you started your academy.
Well, like whenever I first started, I didn't have any desire to compete.
Yeah.
My whole goal was just weight loss.
Yep.
Keep my mind busy, get me back into shape, and give me something to do.
Yeah.
And that was about 8 months of training as a white belt. Coach Carlos, he was like, "Hey, we have a Fuji competition coming up. I think you should compete in it."
Nice.
I was like, "Okay, I'll do it."
Yeah.
And I went into the tournament with no hopes of anything. I was like, I don't care if I win. I don't care if I lose. And it's still to this day, if I compete, that's my mindset.
Absolutely.
Because it's not about the medal. Even though it's cool to be able to flash all these medals and stuff, at the end of the day, I don't care about them. It's not about that.
No.
You know what I mean? It's about just being a better human being than you were than yesterday, or a better person than when you first woke up today.
Absolutely.
Right?
Small progress.
Right.
Be grateful for the small things.
So I entered this tournament as a white belt with that mindset of just go in there and have fun, man.
Yeah.
Just go in there and do jiu-jitsu. I ended up doing really good.
Awesome.
I surprised myself because at first I was battling all this mindset of I'm too old, I'm out of shape, all these excuses.
Yeah.
But I'm still showing up every day, putting the work in.
Absolutely.
Knowing that the results will happen over time. And I did very well, man. I hit my first armbar in the tournament. I kind of went, in my opinion, looking back now, I probably went a little bit too rough on that armbar.
Yeah.
As a brown belt now, I wouldn't have full sent it. You know what I mean?
Like eased into it.
But as a white belt, I'm brand new. Adrenaline is like, oh my god, I'll get the victory. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Adrenaline takes over.
I felt the dude's elbow separate a little bit. He yelled, I let go.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, so I understand the self-defense aspect of it, but this is the sports side of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is a whole new world, the sports side of it. So I started studying the sports side of jiu-jitsu with training self-defense.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal, right? Is just make sure you can get home at night.
Absolutely.
Because there's some things you could do, in street jiu-jitsu that will be effective in sport jiu-jitsu and vice versa. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's best just to train both.
Yeah.
So
you have a little bit of both worlds.
Right. Both type of scenarios.
Absolutely.
Someone comes at you with a hammer,
Yeah.
Opposed to someone comes at you with a grip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I fell in love with both aspects of it, and I started competing on a regular basis. I got sponsored by Fuji Sports. Shout out to Fuji, by the way. They helped me out a lot whenever I was going through the ranks with gear and merch and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
If you notice, all the stuff in my studio is Fuji stuff. Because I want to support those that support me.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Especially when you were just up and coming.
Right.
When you technically really didn't have a name like you have now, and you were working your way up, and they were cool enough to be like, hey, we got you, we'll help you out.
And I owe that again to Carlos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Fuji reached out to Carlos. It was like, hey, we wanted to sponsor 2 athletes of your choosing. Who do you want those 2 people to be?
That's awesome.
And I can't remember who the other one was, but I was the second one. Yeah. And I was forever grateful. I was like, oh wow, this is a really cool opportunity.
Awesome.
So of course, like part of the agreement to be sponsored by them is I had to do some things. I had to take pictures and video and post and tag and all and merch and all this stuff. But it was all cool with me.
That's
you know what I mean? It was just a great experience.
Absolutely.
And then I competed up to purple belt and stuff like that. And then right before I got my brown belt, I blew out both shoulders.
Yeah, I remember that.
So like my days in competing, I really don't compete anymore. I still get down with my students in the gym. But to build other people up and watch them succeed, it's been my goal from day one. Yeah. And I'm living the dream right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't mind going out and competing again, but it's like, do I really want to risk injuring this the rest of my life to the point where I can't even teach a class for a medal?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not really worth it.
And not to mention, like I said, if you're hurt, you're not able to spend the time with your students you want.
Exactly.
Or get on the mats and put your work in.
Right. Like right now, I can still work, I can still train, I can still drill and roll, but in here, I could choose the intensity.
Absolutely.
If my shoulder's having a really bad day, it's like, okay, I need to roll 30% today.
And not to mention, that allows you being less on the competitive side now, it allows you to spend more time in building your students.
Exactly. And that's what I've been doing.
I've been focusing, the changes in.
Yeah, man. I've been focusing more on the kids and the adults and stuff like that and bringing people up through the ranks. But I'm not going to lie, man. Like, I miss it. I miss going out and throwing down with
you do. It's the thing I do myself, like where I don't compete anymore. I feel the same way. It's like there's times I miss it. And then there's times I'm like, I know. It's like, if I tried that again, it probably wouldn't go so good. Right. Where,
it's like too, like as you get older, you know what I mean? Like your body starts to hurt a lot more. You know what I mean?
We're not 20 years old anymore.
So you have to respect that. You know? And it's like, I don't want to get shoulder surgery and stuff. I don't want to be cut open and pinned down and stapled and all that stuff. And then you're going to
have a lot of downtime.
Yeah, man. Downtime, the armor to sling. It's kind of hard to teach jiu-jitsu if I'm slinged up for 6 to 8 months.
Absolutely.
So, but growing people up and watching them succeed and excel in their game and their goals, that's really what I'm after right now.
It gives you a good feeling. It gives you a good...
And my students know that too. You can talk to anybody that trains here.
Absolutely.
And I know a little bit about that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what separates me from
you get a feel for it. Yeah, you develop more of a personal relationship with your students as opposed to and friendships as well.
Well, here's the way I see it. Jiu-jitsu is a very close art.
Yes.
were grappling.
Exactly.
We were literally on top of each other in some shape or form throughout a whole 5-minute situation. I want to know who you are. You know what I mean?
You don't want some random guy. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You want to at least have a feel for that person.
Because it's like, here's the deal. Like, if I know a little bit about you, let's say maybe from childhood something happened, and if I grab you a certain way, it's going to trigger something. If I know
you need to know that.
If I know that going into the situation or the role,
you can avoid.
I'm going to avoid that situation at all costs for that student.
Out of respect for your student.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Because I want it to be a good experience for all of us.
And it's the same if somebody has an injury, you say, hey, I'm injured here, just be cool. And everybody looks out for you.
Yeah, it's like I have a rule. It's like if Boomer says, hey, my elbow hurts, I'm not going to attack any shoulders or elbows on both arms. That way I don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to attack your neck and chokeholds or your ankles.
Yeah.
If you say my right ankle hurts, I'm not going to attack anything from the waist down.
The upper body.
It's going to be upper body only. That way I don't even have to worry about, am I grabbing the right ankle or am I grabbing the sore ankle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it just makes things easier. And like you said, it doesn't put people in those positions to where they may get triggered, or they may freak out. You know, so especially when people are new, that sometimes they have a tendency to get in a situation and it overwhelms them, and they, you know, like they start fighting for their life, so to speak.
It's like, you know, perfect example would be, let's just use a female, for example. Let's say a female came in domestic violence situations where she was mounted by a male subject and he had her pinned down to the floor.
Right.
During that role, I'm never going to find myself in a mount position with you, because I don't want that to trigger some type of flashback. And the next thing you know, your experience, which was going really good, is now something traumatic for you.
Absolutely.
Bringing back all these bad memories and stuff. You know what I mean? Eventually, you know, hopefully the role can continue to where we get to that point.
They get more comfortable.
But it's all about sharing information.
Absolutely.
And I want you to come back and have a good experience.
Yep.
You know
and that's part of, you know, not only for coaches, for students, you're being a good partner by knowing about your partner a little bit. You know, you're being more mindful.
Well, plus too, if you think of it as the coaching side of things, if I slap and bump with the student, meaning we're going to roll, so we slap hands, we bump fists, we lock up. If I don't ask any questions, I don't know anything.
Exactly.
But if I go into this, hey man, how you feeling today? Anything hurting? Before we start rolling, is anything hurting?
Right.
They say right shoulder or no, or whatever the case is. As a coach, you just now coach that student.
Yes.
To do the same type of questionnaire on his next role with the next student.
Absolutely.
Hey man, Joe just asked me if anything was hurting before and he explained to me this is why he asked that.
Yeah.
I should start doing that too.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, that student starts doing it to this student and this student, and it's a chain of reaction.
Yeah, and it creates a positive thing. Environment. It really does. Because then they come in, they're like, hey, these people actually care.
Because we do.
Like, yeah, well, absolutely.
I can't learn jiu-jitsu without a training partner.
That's true.
And
if your training partners are broken,
you can't train with them. And the most important person in the room is not yourself. It is your training partner. Because without you, I can't train.
There's a sense of trust.
Exactly.
You know, you're trusting. We're trusting each other with our bodies.
Right. I'm trusting you not to break my elbow.
Exactly.
You know, here's an arm bar.
Exactly. Let's get into your mindset and approach toward jiu-jitsu, as well as your success in your business.
My approach in jiu-jitsu is believe in yourself, know it's going to suck at first, embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it, know it's going to be, you know, a horrible situation for the first, however long, a month.
Yeah.
But eventually that time will pass. Then after that, it's just another day on the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't remember the last time jiu-jitsu made me puke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I was just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, we all have good days and bad days on the floor.
Absolutely.
But the bad days shouldn't make you not come the next day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It should kind of, you know, you'd almost want the bad days to kind of help them come back in. Like, hey, even if you're having a bad day, come on in.
Well, it's like, if you go back to, like, my very first starting in jiu-jitsu. Shout out to Corey Messer, by the way. I'll get to him in a second. Whenever I saw the Jeep in Athens and I decided to sign up, you know, I'm literally parked outside of the gym.
Yeah.
And at the time, the gym I was training at when I first started was on the second or third floor of an old abandoned school building that was converted into some other type of business.
Gotcha.
Well, on the third floor is the windows, and you can see all the people doing laps and the gis and stuff. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
You know, so I called up my buddy Corey, and I was on the phone with Corey for like 2 hours. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Because Corey used to be a blue belt under Relson Gracie affiliation out of Columbus back a long time ago.
Yeah.
But he doesn't train anymore. But I called him, and he was like, "Dude, like, quit freaking out. Just go in there because you're going to be around nothing but good people. I promise you, if it's a good gym, you're going to be around good people.
Absolutely.
You're going to be treated with respect, and you're just going to have a good time." It was, you know, a 2-hour conversation. That's pretty much the gist of it.
Yes.
I hung up the phone, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
You know, so for the people that's brand new, that's on the fence about coming in because maybe you're scared or whatever, don't be, man. Just come in.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere. You know, and no one's going to judge you by being a brand new student. If anything, we're going to open the door, red carpet treatment, help you out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just help each other grow in the art.
Absolutely. How about what's your mindset approach towards your business? Is it the same, or do you have a little bit
full throttle for that champagne bottle, baby?
Yeah, I get it.
I just want the best for all of us.
Absolutely.
I want the biggest studio. You know, even though this is 3,000 square feet and this is a monster.
Yeah.
Why not go for 5,000 square
Absolutely.
feet? Why not go for 10,000 square feet?
Absolutely.
You know, I want the next step.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully that'll happen in the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got huge goals, you know, for myself and my family and my students and my team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm conquering all of them.
Yeah, you've been crushing them so far. The
I'm
last couple of years, you've crushed them.
I'm way ahead of the schedule.
And I feel like anything you put your mind to, you're going to do very well.
I try to.
You know.
You have to
Because I noticed you put
mindset.
your all into that. When you put your mind to something, you do it.
Yeah, you have to. You know, like you have to be full throttle for it, man.
You have to.
You can't half-ass it.
No.
You know,
or you're not going to be successful.
Right, and there's no growth in comfort zones.
And your students see how you approach things, and they see, like, man, he gives a shit. He cares.
Yeah, well, it's like this whole building needed to be redone. You know,
had it done in
30 days.
Yeah.
3,000 square feet.
Working nonstop.
30 days, working 18-hour days. You know, with people helping me substitute teach while I'm over here.
Absolutely.
The gym's being ran. So I didn't want to shut the gym down while I'm operating out of here and getting this one ready. I had a lot of people come in and help me move the mats. You know, I had a lot of my buddy Josh Dirth, JD's Hometown Appliance. Shout out to you for helping out. He actually laid out the mat configuration.
Awesome.
Him and his son Ethan. They actually sat down with a pen and paper and literally like mapped this whole layout.
That's amazing.
We hired another company, but the measurement was off by a few, so we had to redo it. But that's when they come into play. That's their specialty. You know what I mean? They did a phenomenal job.
They did.
These mats are so tight.
They're great.
And it's because of the way that they sat down and really masterminded the whole layout. They took their time. They really did, man.
Put their heart into it.
And you know, same thing like with you. You know, Brown's painting and power washing. They came in and helped out a lot. We had Pablo's quality construction come in and help out lay out the floor and do some other stuff around the gym.
That's awesome.
You know, so there's a lot of people. It was, you know, all of us
people came together.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. You know,
and that's what I think
that's
that's really cool about this gym. It's like the students love it so much. They know
they have an investment in it.
Well, yeah, because they know the end game is just you know, being better people, man.
Exactly.
And it's a community thing. People need an outlet in life.
Yeah.
You know, kids need something other than, you know, soccer, football, baseball, you know, in the off video games. In the off season they can train jiu-jitsu because jiu-jitsu we're open year round. There is no season.
Nope.
It's 24/7. You know what I mean? So that's one thing that's nice with the kids and the sports programs and stuff like that is if they're training football in the off season or whatever, they can come train here. Yeah. Then when football kicks back in, I won't see them for a month or two or however long football season is, 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah.
And then they come back in. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
What is your advice for beginners or those looking to start?
Just do it. Just do it. Find yourself a good gym. And you're going to know if you're in a good gym because of the environment.
Absolutely.
If you walk in, you see smiles, you see laughter, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
If you walk in and you see depression,
and people's over in their little groups over here,
huddled up in little cliques, that's a red flag.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna know if you will know. Your intuition will just tell you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, follow your gut instinct.
Feel the energy.
Yeah, feel the energy of the room.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I did with HQ. You know, and I've been with Carlos since white belt.
Yeah.
I've never been to any other gym as a member.
The new people or beginners really shouldn't sell themselves short by sticking with a location that isn't a good fit for them.
Right. if you have a gym that's really close to you and it's a bad gym, but the really good gym is only an extra 40-minute drive,
go to the good.
I'm making that extra drive.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Especially like, it's hard to find, number one, a good gym with good instruction, a good gym with good instruction with quality students, with a whole bunch to offer you at a low cost. Absolutely. You know, like here at this gym, like my adult students, if you sign up as an adult student, you know, it's like $100 a month.
Yes.
But it's 80 classes a month that you get for that. Yeah. You get all of the jiu-jitsu classes that you could ask for, judo, you get Muay Thai kickboxing, you get straight regular boxing, morning classes, AM classes so 6 a.m., 11 a.m., and then 6:30 p.m. classes. Yeah. It's crazy, you know. So like that was the game plan coming in.
That's a pretty good deal if you think about it.
Well, coming into Jackson, that was my whole idea. Is like I want to offer a whole bunch of stuff for a low cost. So I didn't get into this business to get rich.
Right.
If anybody's got that mindset that you're going to get it rich, being in a martial arts business, gym owner, you're wrong thinking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got to have a passion for it.
You got to have a passion for it.
If you're just looking for $1, you're not gonna,
it's wrong.
That's the wrong thing. There's a lot of gyms out there in the world that do that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you're just a number to them. You know what I mean? Because literally you are.
There's no personal relationship. There's no hey, how you doing? Check in. Because I can't tell you how many times when I had to step away, how many times you've called and texted me. Hey, how you doing? You doing okay? You know, checking in.
Asking about your beagle dog.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's little things like that, man.
And that goes a long way for people sometimes.
Well, yeah. That's
they see that somebody cares. They're like, hey, man, he actually cares. So, yeah, that's a good person. You know?
Right. And that's what I want. I want my people to know that.
Yeah.
You know, like you're not just a number to me.
No.
Like, I really genuinely, you truly care about that. You know what I mean? If you're having a bad day, even if you used to train here, man, the door is always open. Yeah. You know, to current students and previous students. You know, if you're having a bad day, need someone to come talk to you, come hit me up.
Yeah.
If I'm available, I'm gonna set some time outside and I'm gonna sit there and help you out. You know, and that's what this is about. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah, I get that for sure. What kind of words of encouragement would you have for those people that are struggling with their life or their mental health, or things are getting them down?
Man, that's tough, man, because you could sit here and preach all day and tell people what to do. You know what I mean? But I would say find something that's going to keep you busy.
Yeah.
Something that's positive.
Yeah.
That will keep you busy.
Absolutely. Because there's a lot of negatives that people can get into.
And really check your inner circle, dude.
Yeah.
Check the people that are around.
Are they helping you grow? Are they growing as people? Or
well,
are they stay on stagnant?
If you hang out with a bunch of negative people, the only thing that you're going to do is bitch and complain the entire time.
That negativity is going to rub off on you.
And if you are hanging out around a bunch of positive people that are busy,
same thing. You're going to be busy. You're going to be positive.
Yeah.
You're going to be mindful and be like, hey, I'm not doing enough.
You become what you surround yourself with.
You really do.
You really. I'm a firm believer in that. And you become what you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
You can take someone that's never drank alcohol in their life, for example, put them around 10 alcoholics.
Next thing you know.
Next thing you know, they're taking a shot.
Absolutely.
Or whatever the case is.
Whether it's peer pressure or just being around those people, whatever the case is.
I could be wrong with that example.
No,
but, I mean, but just to give you an example, that's what I'm thinking. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? You become what you surround yourself with. Just be positive, no matter what's going on. Try to be positive. If you can't be positive, find someone who is positive and hang out with that person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And so if you find yourself in the slumps or whatever, that's my advice, man.
Yeah.
Find something that's productive, positive, and it's going to keep you busy and keep you motivated and active the entire time. For me, it's for this.
Yeah.
It's jiu-jitsu for me.
Right.
It might not be jiu-jitsu for other people. It might be guitar. It might be whatever, fishing, hunting, whatever the case may be. But you got to find something to occupy.
You have to find something healthy.
Right.
Something healthy for mentally and physically.
It's like you have two choices, man. You could sit on that couch and get lost in your thought and make it 10 times worse. Or you can get up off your butt
and make something happen for yourself.
You can make something happen for yourself
instead of doom scrolling on the thing.
Yeah, dude. Get off Facebook. Get off the whatever you're on.
Get outside, get some fresh air.
Exactly.
Get in the gym, put some work in.
Yeah, man.
Whether it's lifting weights, jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever martial art you'd like. Even if it's sports, pick up basketball, football out in the yard, whatever, anything.
Right.
There's a lot of healthy outlets for people.
You got to get out and live.
Yeah. You can't let your mental health override your life, and that's easier said than done. But there's a lot of ways that people can work toward getting themselves in a better situation.
It's like now, like anymore, I think like technology, like it's so easy to get lost on the phone.
It really is.
Like I tell the kids in my kids' classes, it's like, who plays Xbox? And a couple of them will raise their hand or whatever. Who watches TV? And a couple of them or whatever. It's like, what did you do today to earn that?
Yeah.
And they look at me, and it's like, you need to earn your lazy.
Yeah.
And it's out of love. It's not because I'm being hateful. It's just like, what did you do today, man? Did you help mom and dad mow the yard? Did you help do the dishes? Did you help do this or that? Like, your parents do a lot for you.
Yeah.
What have you done to earn your Xbox time? Yeah. Earn your lazy.
Absolutely.
That might be just coming to jiu-jitsu, working hard for 90 minutes, and then coming back home exhausted. Yeah. Okay, you've earned that Xbox time. You
did something for yourself.
But waking up, going to the couch,
and just
living
hanging out all day.
That's not good, dude. Get off your ass. Do something. You know what I mean?
That's not good at all.
Yes, exactly.
Breeds complacency.
Yes.
You get complacent, and then you're just like comfortable on the couch.
Exactly, man. You can't live there.
Start wearing that groove.
That's a comfort zone.
Yeah.
There's no growth.
You got to get outside of the comfort zone to really grow.
There's no growth in comfort zone.
No, not at all. Not at all. You have anything else you'd like to add to the people?
Oh, we have a 10-day trial. So if you're watching this, you want to come in, try out Gracie Jiu Jitsu, try out Muay Thai kickboxing, judo, or boxing. 10 days, free of charge on the house. You just have to contact me, the owner, Joe Taylor. I'll sign you up on a waiver form, explain how things go. You get 10 free classes to see if you like it. And then if you decide you want to sign up, then we can talk membership prices and all that. My memberships are very low. We offer a lot for a very low cost. But I guarantee you it'll be the best decision you've ever made.
Now, where could they find you on Facebook?
Yeah, so Facebook, you can find us Facebook or Instagram, One Academy Jackson, under both. Of course, my phone number is all over the place.
Yep.
oneacademyjackson@gmail.com is the email. If you want to email us. But yeah, man, that's it.
Great. All right, man, I really had a great time interviewing you. I'm thankful you sat down with me. And I'm
thank you for having me.
Like I said, I'm thankful that I've gotten to know you over these couple of years.
Yeah, same, brother. Yeah.
That we've become friends. And,
yes, sir.
In my opinion, you're a great instructor. And you're going to crush your goals no matter what happens, because that's how you are.
This is how I was born, dude.
Yeah.
You just got to have it in you.
Built different.
Yep,
you got to.
Yeah, that dog.
And, like I said, I'm appreciative for the interview, and I look forward. We'll have to sit down again and do another one sometime. And
yes, sir. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you, guys.
Look out for the next one.